Raymond Somerville to jump for the Hornets. Wake will have Zach Keller in the jump circle, and it's controlled by the Deacs.
The Deacs like to space the court. They'll go 5 out. They'll go 4 around 1. They really do a nice job of reversing the floor, moving without the basketball, and trying to get into the gaps.
Wake Forest coming off an 83-59 win over NJIT. A pull-up is down for Martaz Robinson as we look at the Hornets starting 5. Their big 3, Tavares, Robinson, and Muñez combined for almost 60% of their scoring.
Delaware State likes to play man, but as of late, their zone has been doing them wonders, and that's what they started tonight, a 3-2 matchup zone.
Top of the key 3, buckets from Miller. Wake Forest starting lineup. They're the only school in Division I to have 4 players averaging around 15 points per game or more.
And they're very, very unselfish. They show they're hard to defend because they always look for the open man.
Muñez, one of the better shooters for Delaware State, his 18th 3 of the year. That's a team best. Shoots almost 40% from downtown. Miller pierces the lane. His teardrop is through.
Well, that's why he's so hard to defend out on the perimeter, because he is a very good three-point shooter, capable. But if you close out too hard, he does that. He gets into the gap and he has the floater.
Tavares turns it over. First turnover for Delaware State. Now, you mentioned this Delaware State zone. What are they trying to accomplish to bother opponents?
Well, they're trying to get out and take away the passing lanes. They want to rotate. They want to rotate hard, and it gives them great rebounding position.
Hunter Sallis, his first try is short. Rebound Delaware State. And their second blunder. Hornets are coached by Stan Waterman in his 3rd season, 14-56. Spent 30 seasons as the head coach at Sanford High School, part of that boys basketball program. And he has Delaware State on the rise. They already have 6 wins, tying their win total from any of the last 6 seasons. Carr kick out. Sallis lines up the 3 short.
Well, you mentioned the zone and what it does. And that's one of the things it does. They have good length, especially on the backside, where they can get out and contest shooters and then get back inside for the rebound.
Raymond Somerville with the foul line jumper. They have 5 players on this Hornets roster that are 6'8" or taller, to your point.
And they're not only tall, James, but they're long, and they're athletic, and they move well. And this zone, they're starting to feel more comfortable in it as the season grows.
Delaware State has grabbed an early lead. Corner 3 from Carr is money.
That's what he does. He stretches the floor. He's a good passer. He can make moves around the basket, but then he'll step outside as well.
6'10", 220-pound stretch 4. Quick bucket on the other end for Delaware State. Another lead change as that one goes for Alston Andrews. Coach Waterman spoke very highly of the Illinois State transfer on our call today.
Alston Andrews has really stepped in well and given him another option up front.
3 for Miller's halfway down, but it spins out. 3 ball from Tavares, wide right. NASCAR tempo. Hildreth a collision, and it's out of bounds. It'll stay on this end with Wake Forest. In his 4th season, Steve Forbes at the helm of this Wake Forest program. Back-to-back winning seasons for the first time since the 2008-09 campaign and 2009-2010 seasons, and he was the 2022 ACC Coach of the Year.
Well, Steve Forbes, one of the most likable guys in the profession of college basketball coaching, and just a true blue-collar guy that the players love playing for him, and he's done a really good job of retooling this team with a few transfers that have fit in nicely.
Burrowing to the rim, the ball's wrenched out of bounds. It'll stay with Delaware State. Tim, your thoughts on the fact that Wake Forest has attempted 7 field goals. 6 of them have been threes against this zone.
Well, it can be fool's gold if you start getting three happy. And I know Steve Forbes will remind his team of that in the next TV timeout, because you don't want to just limit yourself just to be a three-point shooting team playing against a zone. And if that happens, then you never get into a rhythm. So sure, they'll have some more balance. They probably need a little bit more balance moving forward. Go inside first, then go outside.
Wake turns it over. Sends us to our first media timeout. Delaware State is connected on 5 of their first 6 shots, and they have a 3-point lead on the road.
SoFi is helping me get my money right to achieve my ambitions.
The 3-point edge at our first media timeout. Tim, what's clicking for Delaware State offensively when you look at their numbers?
Well, Wake needs to up their pace and intensity on the defensive end. I think they're making any pass they want. I'm sure Steve Forbes told them in the timeout, we've got to get out and guard them a little bit, because they're basically doing what they want. They're moving the ball from side to side. Wake's not getting up in the passing lanes or contesting enough shots. And certainly Delaware State has enough talent, enough scoring out there on the floor to burn you if you don't get up in their chest. And that's what Stan Waterman said earlier today. He's got Robinson, Nunez, and Tavares, but he has other guys that can step up as well. And that's what he needs tonight. And so far, so good.
4 of their 5 starters have already scored. Shot clock into single digits. Weaving. Tough one from Nunez, and he splashes it in.
We talked about that length and that ability of Nunez at 6'6" to kind of play that guard spot, that wing area, and a little step back over the top.
A 6-0 run from Delaware State comes to a halt as Cameron Hildreth buries the triple.
One of the most improved players in the ACC over the last 3 years. He's got better every season now, has that game off the bounce, but he's always been a definite threat from downtown.
A jump ball. It will stay with Delaware State on this end. Nunez looking inside. It's bottled up with 10 to shoot. Robinson from 16. Bullseye.
He is so strong and can elevate in traffic because of that ability to create his own shot, find an angle because of the power. And you've got to get up, make him put it on the deck and get a little help.
Robinson, preseason first-team All-MEAC. He's the reigning MEAC Offensive Player of the Week, averaged over 21 points per game in 3 contests for the Hornets. Stop and pop from Hildreth is left short. Hornets have made their last 3 shots. Nunez finds the cutter and banking it home. Raymond Somerville, and Delaware State leads by 6.
Well, one of the problems for Delaware State on the season has been their ability to create good passing angles and turning the ball over way too much. They've got over 25 more turnovers and assists on the season. So tonight they look highly skilled on the offensive end. With Miller driving a foul in the lane. Martaz Robinson, we were talking about, he just creates a little space because of that power and then the ability just to elevate under duress. And then Somerville with a nice cut down the lane and the soft touch. Miller's a 79% free throw shooter for Wake Forest. Averages 17 points per game, the transfer from Central Michigan. Only played in 4 games last season, suffered an early season injury. He made the MAC All-Freshman team 2 years ago. He's also 7th in the ACC in assists per game, averaging right at 4 per contest. Delaware State has started 8 for 9 from the field. They've only missed 1 shot. They're perfect from inside the arc. It was a missed 3. Fall away.
halfway down, but it goes out. Out of bounds. It'll stay on this end with the Hornets.
Well, that was a better defensive possession by Wake. But again, they must have to be aware that Delaware State on the season is almost a +7 on the glass, where Wake is just an even Steven on the glass. So Delaware State has that advantage coming in, especially with their length.
6 to shoot. Munoz weaving, flips it up. Didn't hit the rim. There's just over 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Delaware State doing a good job just keeping the ball alive. They're just crashing the boards. If Wake can just do a good job of finding that defensive rebound, they may be able to get some runouts.
Munoz throws up a prayer. Didn't draw a rim, and it's a shot clock violation.
I'm not sure the players in Delaware State were aware of the shot clock situation. I don't think they were, because with 2 on the shot clock, you've got time for 1 bounce and a shot. And they tried to pass the ball around the perimeter.
Parker Fredrickson has checked in for Wake Forest, coming off a career high 19 against NJIT. He's number 20 in white. Deep in the timer, dangerous pass. Miller has to hustle. Hildreth pulling the three.
Ricky Miller, the presence of mind, understanding the shot clock situation, and coming into the corner. Cam Hildreth just set his feet, and that's lights out for Wake.
Can a play like that jumpstart a team after a slow start?
Absolutely. They have been playing a little bit more intense defense in the last couple minutes, but they're going to continue to get up on the glass. And Miller, just great hustle after a loose pass on the perimeter and just finding Hildreth. This is what Miller does best. He just drives into the gap, draws that second or third defender, and then looks back out to the perimeter for an open shooter.
Long 2 from Robinson. That is tough.
He doesn't need much space, and he does a good job of not only creating shots for himself, but doing a good job of using screens. That time he came off that baseline runner a little bit and moving without the basketball.
Has 6 points. He's yet to miss a shot. His coach, Stan Waterman, says Robinson is a gamer. Hildreth left wide open. Reed trying to keep it alive. Picked up by Fredrickson. Miller can't snap the net.
Again, Wake settling for some threes. There are lanes to be had in that zone. From ball reversal, trying to take it into the gap.
Nice find and a flush right down the boulevard from Somerville. Here's our Friday night men's basketball doubleheader that begins at 6 Eastern. P.J. Hall and number 13 Clemson hosts Queens University at Littlejohn Coliseum. And then Marcus Burton and Notre Dame host the Marist Red Foxes at Purcell Pavilion in South Bend. Should be a good evening of hoops right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Wake Forest called a 30-second timeout to send us to a break. Tim, Delaware State preseason picked 6th out of 8 teams in the MEAC, but they look much better than that.
Well, they do, and Stan Waterman told us earlier today that this zone is something he doesn't really like to play, but it's worked. So he's sticking with what works, and not a lot of people, Wake has not faced a lot of zone possessions this year because of the fact they do have so many good shooters. But what happens sometimes is the first time you play against a zone for a long period of time, you get standing around because you're not comfortable against it yet. And you think you can just rely on your three-point shooting, which I'm sure Steve Forbes has told him this is not the case. We've got to get the ball inside and use our inside presence first and then get the threes.
Hunter Sallis at the line, the junior from Omaha, Nebraska, transfer from Gonzaga. who's not only seen an uptick in playing time here at Wake, but his production has been off the charts. Averaging almost 18 points per game for Wake. His field goal percentage hovering around 50%. Started tonight 0 for 3. Gets in the book with a couple of free throws. Banging down low, and Delaware State turns it over. That's their 4th turnover, and Tim, Coach Waterman said that if they were going to compete in this game, they had to keep that number down between 12 and 15.
Well, that's been an issue at times this year. He said they have 29 more turnovers than assists on the season, so it tells you they're not a great passing team. They go with sometimes a freshman, the freshman point guard in there, Tavares, which he makes good plays, but then, as Coach said to us today, it's risk-reward.
Another foul line jumper from Somerville. Offensive rebound and a 3 Robinson. That's his first miss of the night. Around the wheel to Fredrickson for 3. 5th 3 for Wake tonight.
That's when Wake's at its best, though. They really do a great job of using the corners, using both sides of the floor to space it, and then they reverse it with the pass before the defense can shift.
Ties the score at 21. And Wake has picked up the intensity on this end. Reed pulls it away.
Better job on the glass. 1 and done for Delaware State.
Sallis now 0 for 4 from the field. Robinson, he's a bucket getter. Has it denied by Sallis, out of bounds.
Well, Wake's doing a much better job the last 3 or 4 minutes of ball pressure, helping out each other defensively, resisting at the rim, and contesting and getting in the passing lanes.
Whistle and a foul. Offensive foul on the Hornets.
Well, Wake's done a much better job last minutes, not only defensively, as we just mentioned, but on the offensive end, trying to get the ball into the gaps, not settling in the 2nd and 3rd pass for a quick 3, but moving the defense first and then attacking.
Boopie Miller re-enters the lineup for Wake Forest, replacing Efton Reed III, who's now eligible, just got cleared by the NCAA, the transfer from by way of LSU and then Gonzaga. Playing in his 3rd game with the Deacs here tonight. Wake Forest on a mini 5-0 run. Deep in the shot clock, still a long way from the cylinder. Marion to the bucket, and he throws it down.
I was about to say Wake is just spending too much time on the perimeter. They never got inside the 3-point line in the dribble drive situation until Marion took it himself. They were outside and they waited a little bit too long, but then Marion found that gap, which is there. That's what Wake Forest needs to do to attack this zone.
Wake's on a 7-0 run over the last 2:26. Miller penetrates. Sallis bumping, and he draws a foul. Timeout on the floor.
You must attack the zone. You can't get 3 happy. You have to have balance, and that's what Marcus Marion did.
It's both.
State's attack, 3 guys, Robinson, Munoz, and Tavares. Tonight they have 11 of their team's 21. For the season, the 3 of them average just under 43 points per game, and the rest of the team around 32 per contest. Tavares hasn't scored tonight, but he's dished out 5 assists, and the others leading Delaware State, Robinson and Munoz, with 6 and 5.
Tavares is a good-looking player, and Stan Waterman said to us earlier that he didn't really anticipate him to be stepping into the lineup, but he's done a nice job running the team, and he gets out there, pushes him in transition. He plays good defense at the top of that zone.
The Hornets starting point guard Corey Perkins went down with an injury. They'll get him back in 6 to 8 weeks. They trail by 4. Wake Forest after a couple of free throws from Sallis, where he has all of his points tonight. Wake's on a 9-0 run. Delaware State has cooled off. They started 8 for 9. Since then, they are 2 for 9, and now make it 2 for 10 from the field. Miller gets in deep and he scores.
Steve Forbes' message has been delivered to his team. Don't rely totally on the three. That time Miller did a nice job of getting in the gap after ball reversal, getting all the way to the rim.
Nice find underneath and a block. Down low, a foul on the floor. Shot will not count for Alston Andrews.
Wake has done a better job of adjusting and helping each other on the interior and making Delaware State beat them from the outside, where they're not a great three-point shooting team, and Wake being much more physical in the paint.
Wake's on an 11-0 run. Delaware State's missed their last 6 shots.
And you can see they're up in their chest. They're much more intense defensively, getting up in the face of the offensive player. Now it's trapped.
Munoz steps through, can't get the roll. On this end, Boopy Miller leads Wake with 9 points. He also has 3 assists. What do you like about his game tonight?
Not much not to like about Boopy Miller in general. He continues. He's very consistent in all he plays. And it's a good-looking freshman there in Frederickson. He is confident as a shooter, but Miller makes him go. He gets the ball into the gaps. He shares it. He's quick. He can go get his own, but he really looks to run the team first and does a great job of dribble penetrating and finding open people.
Elbow jumper won't go. Offensive rebound, Delaware State. Righty hook. Rattles down. Cameron Stitt ends the drought for the Hornets. That bucket ends a 14-point run for Wake Forest. Pull up. Sallis no. Offensive rebound, the stick back for Zach Keller.
Zach Keller is very good at just being active offensively and defensively. They don't throw him the ball much, but when he's around the ball and the rim, good things happen.
3-ball, pops out. Miller slams on the brakes and he draws a foul in the open floor. That's a heady play.
About Boopy Miller is he's always playing at 100 miles an hour, but it's under control, and that's a hard thing to do. He still has the ability to get everybody involved, but go get a bucket when needed.
Sometimes, Tim, it has taken Wake Forest a while to get going this season. In their 9 games thus far, they've only led at the half 3 times, yet they're 6-3. And you see what they've done over the last 5.5 minutes on a 16-2 run. Frederickson's 3, and this kid is a walking fireball. Dating back to the last game, he's made 8 of his last 9 threes, all 3 tonight.
Yeah, those Oklahoma kids, they can shoot it. He's a long way from home, but feeling comfortable late.
Robinson gets the bounce off the glass.
Steve Forbes not happy with his defense. He took a step back on that possession. And when they've been intense on defense, it's turned into offense for Wake, where the zone doesn't get a chance to set.
Driving kick, and Sallis lines it up. Rebound Carr. Pass
Wake's doing a nice job at the top of the zone. They are screening the top of the zone, which allows Goopy Miller to get into the gaps, and then he finds the open man, and Carr cleans it up.
Senior from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Up to 6 points tonight. And all of a sudden, Wake Forest leads by 13. They're on an extended run of 22-4 over the last 6 and change. Robinson splits the defense, the lob, and the thunderous flush. On the way down, Somerville with the dunk.
If I'm Delaware State, I'd go through Martaz Robinson and everything. Because Wake's having some issues trying to guard him one-on-one, and he makes things happen for himself or his teammates.
Fredrickson. That one's short. Robinson downhill, lost it, out of bounds, off his leg. Turnover, Delaware State. But this kid, Parker Fredrickson, can't miss.
Well, if he gets his feet set, he's got the textbook jumper. Feeling it for Wake.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. I land at 3.
Any ideas for your first meal home?
We'll stay with ACC Network for our featured women's basketball game of the week. Kiki Jefferson and number 18 Louisville. They host Washington at the KFC Yum Center. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. Again, that is this Wednesday night. With Tim Welsh, I'm James Westling, and Tim, Wake Forest, they have ballooned their lead to 11. They had an extended run of 22-4. What's working for the Deacs?
Well, it's been their defense. It really has. They've been much more intense. They've been taking care of the backboards, and then against the zone, and now Delaware State's out of the zone play man-to-man. They've done a better job of being patient and working the ball inside and then go back out to the perimeter.
Out on the arc with 10 to shoot. Miller, the lob to Carr, touch pass, double clutch. A scrum, and deep in the shot clock, a whistle. Possession arrow stays with Wake with 2.3 to shoot. Coach, is this where you just lob it over the top to your 7-footer, Efton Reed?
Well, you've got a couple different options. You want to look in first, maybe see if you can draw the defense with a little screen, and then see if the screener can get open at the three-point line. You got a chance for a quick three if the defense bites on the first screen.
Miller didn't beat the buzzer.
That's got to be a catch-and-shoot situation. You have time for one pass, but then a quick bounce and a shot.
Much to the dismay of Wake Forest coach Steve Forbes. That was Wake's first turnover in their last 17 possessions. They have really cleaned it up. Trying to shoehorn a pass inside. It's knocked away by Miller. Reed tees. The 7-footer can't hit. Carr, a man among boys. Sallis trying to drop it off. Some sloppy play. It's knocked out of bounds. It stays with Wake on this end.
It was a little tight in there to make that pass for Sallis. He drove into the gap, and when you see the defense collapse, this is what happens.
The flush from Carr.
That's the play you were looking for earlier with 2 on the shot clock. That was a very good baseline out-of-bounds play. It's just a simple screen to screener, and lack of communication. Delaware State allows Carr the easy one.
Wake Forest keeps on this end after the Hornets get it right back. Delaware State, after the inbounds violation, playing defense and committing a foul. 7th team foul on the Hornets. It's on Kyle Johnson. And so this will send Hunter Sallis to the foul line. All 4 of his points tonight from the line and make it 5. Wednesday is National Signing Day. We'll have you covered right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. We have our annual special breaking down all the ACC football recruits, taking you through each school with highlights and evaluations. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, and continues with ACC PM at 4.
We need a portal signing day special is what we need next. All the guys, football players that are in the portal.
An air ball on a 3 from Robinson. Big portal news today, Tim, was my Kansas State Wildcats lost to quarterback Will Howard, who entered the portal before the bowl game, and he committed to USC today.
Nice defensive play by Miller. Just the denial, keeping the ball in bounds.
Ahead to Carr, lost his balance on the way up, and he's fouled hard.
That was all started by Miller. That getting out in the passing lanes, deflections, a little bit more intense. Take that second step towards the offensive player and better ball pressure. And Miller again creating for his teammates.
Miller has 5 of Wake's 8 assists in this first half. Carr with 8 points and 2 rebounds. Free throw pops out. Wake Forest as a team, top 4 in the ACC. Really good from the line at 78% collectively. Carr splits the pair. Delaware State yet to shoot a free throw. Pull up from Nunez, and he splashes it in.
That's a good job by Nunez, just creating that little bit of space off the bounce with the step back. And he's got to get going for Delaware State. It just can't be all about Robinson.
Lead in the post against Somerville. Takes him into the lane. Throws it up with the left it short.
Reach usually high percentage. He's got tremendous footwork.
Nunez. Oh, what a shot from the top.
Well, he's got Boopy Miller on him. He's got about 6 inches on Miller, and that time he didn't need much space to attack.
The second 3 tonight, giving him 20 for the season. Sallis turning the corner. Whistle, offensive foul, wipe off the basket. And Sallis is down underneath the basket.
Fell awkwardly. Jevin Nunez, just a quick step back, a little crossover, and Miller might have bumped him a little bit on the way down, and then not sure how they found a charge on that play, but Sallis hit the ground hard.
Timeout on the floor, just under a minute left before we break for the half. Wake by 10 at home.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom.
Top 42-32 over Delaware State. Wake's hit 7 of 17 from 3, but after settling for, they took 10 threes, Tim, in the first few minutes of this game, 10 of their first 12 shots. It's really evened out. Now 28 field goal attempts and 17 have been threes.
Well, you knew that wasn't going to keep going at that pace because Steve Forbes wouldn't allow it. He knows the unique balance to go against any zone, even if you're having early success. And we talked about it earlier. Now it's the defense that has been stepped up as well.
Closing in on a half minute. Deep in the shot clock for the Hornets. Robinson, second thought 3, barely clips the rim. Tap out. Nunez able to track it down. Delaware State can hold for the final shot. Nunez leaning, missing. And that'll send us to halftime. Wake Forest leads at 40. Hornets basketball to start the final 20 minutes. Tavares trying to get in the book, and he does with a jumper.
I like Tavares a lot. He's a promising young player for Delaware State. He's getting better and better with it with each game as he gains more experience.
First points of the second half belong to the Hornets. Hildreth bumped and fouled. Austin Andrews commits the foul for the Hornets, their first in this half and his second personal. Make it the third on Andrews. The 6'10 senior from Detroit, transfer from Illinois State. He'll get a breather, and they bring in Wesley Oba, the junior from Manchester, England. A high-energy guy off the bench for the Hornets. Hildreth's three around and out. Hornets with numbers. Robinson to the well, and he finishes on the break.
Delaware State coming out in the second half the way they started this game. A lot of energy, getting out in transition, getting into gaps, playing good defense. The only difference is they're playing man-to-man. They're not playing the zone that they started the game in. That's where Carr makes his money, right around the rim. He's so physical inside. He doesn't fool around. He just goes home and goes up and flushes it.
He's in double figures with 11 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Righty hook, well short. Miller with 9 points and 5 assists in the first half. Dashing baseline.
He's just so quick. He changes direction very quickly. He can go either way. He's got his head up. He's looking for open men. And if you back off a little bit, he'll knock it down.
Top 7 in the ACC in assists per game. Also averaging 17 points per contest. Lob over the top, out of bounds. Wake Forest trying to move to 26-0 at home against non-conference opponents since 2018. And a ticky-tack foul called on a Hornet, their second of this half. D-Wilk Tavares commits the foul.
Well, this is what Wake wants to do offensively versus the man-to-man. They're going to have a lot of movement, a lot of cutters coming through. They'll play 5 out at times. Sometimes they'll go 4 around 1, but they really do a nice job of spacing the floor.
Miller changes course, gets in deep, flips it up, too strong. Rebound batted around in a whistle. A foul on the Hornet. It'll stay on this end with Wake, their third foul in this half in the first 2+ minutes.
That's great spacing that they have that we spoke about on the offensive end versus man-to-man. It really allows Miller a lot of room to roam out there because you've got shooters in both corners. Sometimes they'll flash the big guy up to the top, and it's one-on-one basketball, and then he's going to take it into the gap, and if you overhelp, you'll find the open man on the perimeter.
Keller banging with Andrews, and Andrews commits his 4th foul.
Extended that arm bar. That referee just told him you cannot guard the post that way.
Miller bumped, and the 5th foul issued to a Hornet in the first less than 3 minutes of this second half. And keep in mind the free throw discrepancy. Already Wake Forest, they've attempted 11. Hornets haven't been to the line tonight.
Well, this is unfortunate for Delaware State. And, for some reason, they didn't take Andrews out of the game. Maybe it wasn't. They didn't realize it quickly enough, and then boom. Within 5 seconds, he's gone for the night, and that's a costly foul for Delaware State.
He just committed 2 fouls on this same possession. It puts Boopy Miller at the line in a rare miss. He's an 80% marksman.
Maybe the bench did not know it, but clearly, or the player, didn't seem like the player knew it either. But that's a bad mistake for Delaware State, just not paying attention to what's going on the court.
So the Hornets are down a starter with still 17 minutes to play. Miller missed them both. Offensive rebound. Sallis from the corner. Bingo.
Wake Forest looking to take advantage now. It looks like Delaware State has lost a little wind out of their sails in that possession. Just let Sallis count to 3 in the corner and wide open.
That's his first made field goal tonight. All of his points had come from the foul line in the first half. 10 to shoot. Shoulder shaking in the lane. Big step through, and Oba banks it in.
Wesley Oba, he does a nice job of creating some space there. He carves it out, and then a real good footwork.
Highly touted recruit, a JUCO transfer from Northwest Florida State. Going baseline. Sallis, count the basket, and one.
So Sallis starting to heat up for Wake. You know he has that ability. He can go get buckets, and he can make the 3, and if you get up into his grill, which you have to do, he can do that. Slow rotations on the backside. If he's beating you off the bounce here easily, you've got to meet him outside the paint on the backside with your help rotation.
6th team foul issued to Delaware State, so Wake will be in the bonus the rest of the half on that next foul. Sallis converts the old-fashioned 3, and he's up to a quiet 11 tonight. Munoz cut off. Tavares baseline. He pulls the trigger, and Carr has his 7th rebound of the evening. Deep in the lane. Blocked at the rim. Hornets on the move. Shot's good at the window. Robinson puts it through. Make it Somerville. Oba, I should say. And Wake leads by 12.
Well, nice job by Delaware State, just pushing up the floor, and Oba rim running right down the middle of the floor. Wake a little slow on the retreat.
Hildreth navigating, flips it up with the left. The offhand, and he gets the roll.
Cam Hildreth, when he came in, he was kind of just a perimeter player, but he's a complete player now for Wake. Much improved, can knock down shots, and you see him can get in the lane with good footwork.
One of 4 players on this Wake team averaging north of 15 per contest. Out of bounds to Wake as we head to a timeout.
Cam Hildreth, you see, little jump stop, reverse pivot, old school from England. Hildreth.
SoFi is helping me get my money right to
ACC PM with Mark Packer and Taylor Tannenbaum. Weekdays from Mark's Charlotte studio in his basement at 4 Eastern. They'll continue talking college football and have the latest from around the conference. It's right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. With Tim Welsh, I'm James Westling. Wake Forest leads Delaware State 54-40, winning the second half 12-8. Wake has settled back in here in this second half, and Tim, they've made 5 of their last 7 shots.
Well, they're doing a nice job sharing the ball. It all starts with Boopy Miller, but they've got such good floor spacing that they're hard to guard because they have a lot of good, highly skilled players, and now Delaware State going back to the zone.
Hildreth relocates with 9 to shoot. In the lane, scooper, and he's fouled. 7th team foul on Delaware State. This will be 2 for Cameron Hildreth.
Cameron Hildreth does a really good job of getting to the free throw line. He's strong. He's been in the weight room the last 3 years. You can just see the development, not only of his body, but his total game. And he's just a hard-nosed player that loves the game. Everybody at Wake just raves about how much he works on improvement and development, especially off the bounce now instead of just being a standstill shooter.
You talked about what he's done off the floor, in the weight room. He plays 35-plus minutes per game. Second highest minutes per game in the league. I mean, you have to be in shape to be out on the floor that much.
Well, he is in shape, and everyone looks great. They really want to play a fast game. They share the ball. They're inside guys that are good passers, capable. They can also all step out and shoot a little bit. So it keeps the defense honest. And you talked about the balance of their scoring, and that's what really is the key to their success.
4 Wake's players in double figures tonight as Brandon Stone gets in on the action. He's returning from an injury. He's been sorely missed for Delaware State. Second team preseason All-MEAC. Bouncing backdoor hammer for Andrew Carr.
Well, that's what Wake does best. They dribble drive into the gaps. They find that angle, and if you send that second defender, they do a great job of sliding into the open area on the backside.
A whistle and a foul on Boopy Miller. It'll put Robinson at the line for Delaware State. Back to the dunk.
He does a great job. Just sliding into that open area. Wake shares the ball as good as any team we've seen this year in the ACC. They make the extra pass.
Robinson's free throw spits out. These are the first free throws tonight for Delaware State. Their first trip to the line comes with 13:53 left in the game. Hornets with some pressure. Miller, a second thought three. Won't go, and Robinson clears it.
He didn't take it that early in the clock, but Delaware State just dared him to take it from the outside on the second pass of the offensive possession. Now steal.
Hildreth fuels the break. The lob, and Carr with another finish.
He's getting his fair share of dunks tonight because his teammates are looking for him, but also that he does a great job of not just standing and watching the ball. He watches the defense and then slides to the open area to finish it off.
It's been a one-man wrecking crew with 15 points and 7 rebounds, and he's done it on just 7 attempts.
Hildreth just really nice touch, feel at the rim. Looks like he's going to shoot it, and then he finds Carr there, the unselfish play.
4 Wake players in double figures tonight. The usual cast of characters with Carr, Miller, Hildreth, and Sallis. All 4 of those guys averaging 15 or more per night. Wake, they're not super deep just in terms of how many guys are in their rotation. The starters play a lot of minutes. But those 4 guys, they're the only team in the country that has 4 players averaging 15 or more per game.
And Monsanto comes back, which could be early January, late December. They are really going to be dangerous and hard to defend because another 3-point shooter and scorer added to the mix.
Miller all the way, coast to coast. The point guard flips it in.
Delaware State's not doing a good job of sprinting back and transitioning. Wake and Snell.
Reed with the block. Miller peels it back. Fredrickson trailing for a 3 off the heel. Long rebound. Fredrickson again. Point Wake Forest lead. Delaware State has gone cold since they started 8 for 9 from the field off the opening tip. An air ball. Fredrickson pulls it down. Miller one-on-one, crossing, scooping, scoring, but they'll wipe off the basket. The foul came on the drive.
This game's getting a little out of hand for Delaware State. And it's really caused by letting Wake just get out and transition. It seems like on every possession it's an open 3 or a layup. So Delaware State has to make some adjustments in this next TV timeout.
Miller hits the front end of the 1-and-1. We'll look at Stan Waterman in his 3rd season at the helm of this Delaware State program. They have the second most wins in the MEAC with 6 on the young year. Preseason picked 6th out of this 8-team conference. Miller knocks them both down. Wake leads by 20. Delaware State started 8 for 9 from the field. Since they're 12 for 32. Tough 3. And Reed pulls down the front side rebound.
Good job by Miller, just getting them organized out at the top. He's just such a true point guard, but now they're going inside. They're going 4 around 1, and Reed carving out that space.
9th Hornet foul. We'll see Efton Reed, the 7-footer, at the line when we come back to Winston-Salem.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. Helena.
Coach Waterman spoke of his good friendship with Andrew's father, and right now, though, Coach Waterman's thinking of anything but. He says, this guy's getting me back. Something that happened back in the day, because Andrew Carr has just played outstanding tonight. Just really physical in the lane and at the rim.
15 points and 9 rebounds. You see his numbers 6 for 7 from the field. 20-point ball game. Stone out on the arc with 10 to shoot. Robinson trying to direct traffic. Wants a screen. Robinson in the land of the trees. Tip in, no. And Reed has it for Wake.
Real
Miller
good defense on
1-on-1.
that possession by Wake.
Stolen back by a Hornet. Frenetic pace. Outside Tavares for a 3. Sallis trying to save it.
Great hustle by Sallis on the baseline. A little dangerous, saving it under your own basket right into the lane.
Delaware State has missed their last 6 shots. Wake's been much better on this end as well, but Reed can't get the gimme down.
And that's what they like to do, though. They go 4 around 1. If you don't play the angles on ball reversal, they'll lob it over the top.
Robinson with the baby J in the lane. He's got 14 for Delaware State. Timeout at the 4. Wake Forest by 18 with 10:33 to play at home.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. Helena 3.
Any ideas for your first meal home?
Here's our Friday night men's basketball doubleheader that begins at 6 Eastern, PJ Hall. And number 13, Clemson host Queens University at Little John Coliseum. Then Marcus Burton and Notre Dame host the Marist Red Foxes at Purcell Pavilion in South Bend. Should be a fun evening of basketball right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Tim, you and I have that Notre Dame game. What are your thoughts on Notre Dame so far in the young year?
They've struggled. They're a new team. I think every time you have a new coach, they'll get it going eventually. This may not be the year. They lost a tough one over the weekend to Georgetown in overtime. But I will tell you, the Marist is one of the better teams in the Metro Atlantic Conference, so it should be a good ball game.
Wake Forest on top here by 18 over Delaware State. Approaching the midway point of this second half. Robinson, pull up. He's fouled, headed to the line. And Delaware State saying, where has this been all night? Wake has attempted 19 free throws to the Hornets' 4.
Robinson normally does a pretty good job of getting the free throw line. I think that would be a good recipe for Delaware State to get back in this game. Clear out some space, get some ball reversal, and let him go. Set some ball screens for him and see if Wake can defend him one-on-one.
He's an 86% free throw shooter for the season, but tonight after that miss, just 2 for 5. Splits the pair, and Robinson's up to 15 points, a team high. Miller working around the screen. And he throws it away. That's only the 7th Wake turnover.
Yeah, and you usually don't see that. Miller usually over-penetrated just a touch there, got out of control, had nowhere to go, got jammed in down there on the short baseline.
Wake has turned it over 3 times in the last 2.5 minutes. Underneath, 3 Deacs converge and a foul.
Delaware State's hanging around. I like that last time out by Stan Robinson. Usually timeouts on the road. You can't take them home with you. They're not good after you lose a game. So he did a good job with it. And they came out a little bit more focused after that last time out.
Munoz at the line, hits the first. As Hildreth re-enters for Wake. A 15-point lead for Wake Forest at home. They are 36-5 at home since the start of the 21-22 season. And they're 25 at home against non-conference opponents since 2018. Always tough here at the Joel. Sallis after the hedge. Gets downhill, and he's able to put it through.
Great body control by Sallis. It looks like he's maybe going to explode, take the middle of the floor, go to the right side. And then the defense jammed him up, and then he twisted and turned on the left side for an easy one.
He's up to a baker's dozen, 13 points. Stone lost his balance. Wild shot. Marion with the rebound and a reach and a foul, and that's number 10 on Delaware State. So this will send Wake to the line on the other end.
Well, Delaware State's not going to get back in the game with that shot selection, but Wake is going to increase the lead by going through Hunter Sallis.
Wake Forest has matched their largest lead. Beg your pardon, their largest lead was 20. Marion's free throw is good. It's an 18-point cushion. Freshman from Denmark drills the second free throw. Regarded as a top 100 player nationally, considered the top prospect out of Denmark. Robinson. Offensive rebound, Delaware State. Able to cycle it out. Hard pass and a recovery by Marion to bat it out of bounds. Wake basketball.
Delaware State forcing the issue now. They can't go multiple possessions without going through Martaz Robinson. And that previous one, Stone forced this issue, and that one was kind of a lazy pass.
Reed one-on-one with Oba, and an offensive foul called. Oba able to sell it.
Reed's still trying to get back in the flow and get his timing down. He is a very good inside player. He's going to help Wake once they get into the thick of the league, but that time tried to force the issue. He's got a drop step there. He's got to read the D and finish on the baseline side.
Turnover Delaware State. Reed playing in just his 3rd game here at Wake. Transfer from Gonzaga. Didn't play a ton for the Zags, around 4 or 5 minutes per game, but he did appear in 25 contests. Former 5-star recruit out of high school, rated as the number 24 overall prospect and a top 3 center out of high school by ESPN. Fredrickson, he's a freshman, top 130 player. A rare miss from downtown for him. He's been in fuego the last 2 games. Baseline, high arcing runner, no. Out of bounds, to Wake. Sends us to our under 8. Wake Forest on top. They're in control. They lead at 68-49 at home.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. Helen at 3.
Any ideas for your first meal home?
Bojangles?
1994, all ACC first team, was part of the North Carolina radio network as their color analyst.
All around, great guy, tremendous player, husband, father, worked for a lot of charitable work in the Chapel Hill area. And Hubert Davis put it best, I think, today. He said, I lost a teammate, a friend, and someone that just loved being a dad and being a husband and being a Tar Heel, and he'll be missed.
He was a really good player. He was a really good broadcaster as well. Our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to him and his family. Wake Forest here, they lead by 19 with Hildreth at the line. A rare miss from the stripe. He's almost 90% for the year. Missed them both. Underneath, Muñez is fouled. This will put him at the line for 2.
Muñez is another guy that can get to the free throw line and very good with the handle with both hands. Just needs a little bit more space and more aggressiveness offensively. Sometimes he just lets the game come to him instead of being on the attack.
Free throws through. This Delaware State team, they haven't been to the NCAA tournament since 2005, their lone appearance. And in 6 games all of last season, they've already matched that this season at 6-7. They have the second most wins of anybody in the MEAC conference. Sallis gets around his man. Pull up. Hornets want to run. Muñez. Quick hands by Fredrickson. What a steal. 2 on the
Muñez made a bad decision over there on that left lane. Put his head down and dribbled like 5 times in place, and then just tried to squeeze a pass down to the corner with nowhere to go.
Robinson probing. He lost the handle. Fredrickson, the freshman's all over the floor. Sallis with a runner.
Wake on the defensive end now. They're starting to feel it. They're starting to be on the attack, attacking the lanes, the passing lanes, getting up good pressure on the basketball, deflections, and then runouts.
Wake Forest 18-7 points off turnovers. Missed jumper from Muñez. Largest lead of the night for Wake. Reed bumping, and he's fouled.
Well, Wake's defense just has been outstanding in this entire game after that little bit of a lull to start the game. And since they get out, they're active, they're hungry on the floor, and then they're very unselfish on the runouts.
Wake by 21, their largest lead of the night. Even though they didn't make the NCAA tournament, Wake is coming off back-to-back winning seasons for the first time since 08-09 and 2009-2010. How does this Wake team stack up to the teams that you've seen, Tim, under Coach Steve Forbes the last 2 years?
Well, I think this team is better because of the fact they have more options. They have more options. They have a combination of good guard play, good shooting, guys that can do different things. There's really no one that's one-dimensional out there on the floor. Even their bigs can step out. They're decent and willing and able passers. And then once they get Monsanto back, I think they're really going to be dangerous.
They're already a good shooting team as is. Top 3 in the ACC in field goal percentage, and Monsanto was the second best shooter in the conference last year at 41% from deep.
Well, they're at just 79 points a game. The only thing I would say is that they need to become a better rebounding team and maybe tighten up the defense, and that kind of goes hand in hand.
Carr trying to shovel it underneath, throws it away, wanted Reed the cutter. Wake's on a mini 6-0 run. Top of the key jumper, a long two from Nunez.
Nunez has had a good second half, and they're Wake a little careless with the inbounds.
A three won't stick. Tavares couldn't get it to go. Drive and kick. Carr thought about it. Under 5 to play. Sallis around and out. Tap out. Wake gets another look. Fredrickson pulls. He got it.
Fredrickson had missed 3 in a row. Unbelievable. I don't think he's ever missed 3 in a row in his life when he was open, but he knew he was going to knock that one down. He plays with a lot of confidence for a freshman.
Reed wrestles it away. And a foul in the open floor. This will put Hildreth at the line for Wake. That is the 12th foul for Delaware State in this half, and Tavares commits his 4th. So Cam Hildreth will shoot 2 here. Wake pushes their lead to 25. Hey, Wednesday night after the football signing day special, stay with ACC Network for our featured women's basketball game of the week. Kiki Jefferson and number 18 Louisville, they host Washington at the KFC Yum Center. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. It's Wednesday night. Monday night basketball here. Wake Forest on top 79-53. 5 players in double figures, coach, with Miller and Carr leading the way with 15. Sallis is now up to a quiet 15. Then Hildreth and Fredrickson with 14 and 12.
Well, you asked about Wake and their team compared to other Steve Forbes teams. Well, I will say this, though. Good teams have an identity, and this Wake team does have an identity early in the season, and Steve's done a great job of forming that identity and building it with the transfer portal, that players that fit his system. And you know, the identity is on offense. We're going to share the ball. You don't know where we're going with it because they have tremendous balance both inside and outside.
They have 14 assists here tonight. Miller navigating. Carr looking for the open man. Sallis. Nice shot. Turned down the 3, coach, for the much better 2.
Well, that's one of the worst things when you're a coach is when you're driving to the arena to coach your team in a game and you're worried to death if your best player has an off night, you're going to lose. And Steve Forbes doesn't have to worry about that because he's got a lot of good players, and most nights they all help each other get better.
After the Sallis dunk, Wake has pushed their lead to 30. Take another look.
Well, we've talked all night long about the offensive balance, but in the second half, it's been the defense for Wake.
It's bow time.
Well, Andrew Carr's had a big night, Tim, with 15 points and 10 rebounds, a double-double.
Well, Andrew Carr, he transferred from Delaware. This is what he does. He makes his money right there at the rim because he can finish with the best of them. He runs the floor. He's got good hands, tremendous footwork, and he seems to have a great feel for the game of where to go and get open right at the opportune time.
15 points on just 7 shots tonight. His 7th career double-double. Delaware State started this game 8 for 9 from the field and had a lead in the first half. They led 21-18, and then Wake flipped the script. Driving in. Contested shot is left short, and Carr has his 11th rebound. Miller. Banker, no. Forest will run their streak to 26 straight at home against non-conference opponents.
This is always a feel of relief for a coach and a coaching staff and a program. And come in on a Monday night, play a formidable opponent. Don't forget Delaware State. They beat Chicago State earlier in the year on the road. And Chicago State has proven to be a pain in the neck for teams, especially Northwestern. And you come in, there's not a lot of energy in the building because the school's out of session. And guys are thinking about Christmas in a little bit. And come in and a solid performance. And that, again, that's great coaching, but also just good team building. Your identity is there. You know, we're going to go out and do what we do best every night.
What was this week like for you, Tim, when you were coaching at Providence, among other programs, the week right before Christmas?
Well, it's a combination of a few things. It's first of all, it's good to be home. Being on the road is really tough, but you always try to be home if you can. But first, they're thinking about getting away if they can for a few days, which most schools can unless they're playing a Christmas tournament in Hawaii. But the other part is they're just coming off a grueling exam week where they've got to really focus in on their exams, and they lose a little bit of focus on basketball, rightfully so, and you don't get to practice as much or as intensely as you normally do. So there's a lot of changes at this time of year. You just want to get through it, get through the holidays, and then get the team back where they don't have to go to school for about 3 or 4 weeks, and you can just focus on basketball.
Somerville misses with the left, deep in the shot clock. Approaching a minute and a half left. Catch and shoot three. Long rebound run down by Wake. Corner pocket, no, it won't go. Wake trying to get one for Clark. A block on the other end.
Well, the other nice piece of this for Steve Forbes is he gets to use his bench a little bit late in the game, and these guys feel a little bit better about themselves and getting a little time to get out there and play and be involved.
Abramo Zonka has checked in, a sophomore from Italy, transfer from UCLA. Number 10 in white for Wake. Matthew Marsh has entered the lineup. Will Underwood is also entered for the Deacs. With a minute 16 left, Wake Forest will move to 7-3 on the season. Big picture, they're trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2017. They've only been once since 2010.
Steve Forbes knows how to push the right buttons. He's absolutely a tremendous coach, former ACC Coach of the Year, highly respected. He's real, very well liked, not only around campus, and he proved that this year as he ventured out to the College World Series with the Wake baseball team.
A minute left. Slicing in, the layup rolls off. Wouldn't go for Marion. A three, yes.
Well, Delaware State obviously not what they wanted tonight, but I think in the MEAC they're going to be a formidable foe most of the year, and I would say they're going to be better than 7th place. They've got some good pieces out there.
They lead the league. It's always so hard to stat compare for teams like Delaware State and conferences like the MEAC because the non-conference, it's always just brutal. But they lead the league in scoring, field goal percentage. They're second in the MEAC in three-point field goal percentage. They're tops in assists. They have a lot of really good things to build on. Here's a Wake three. It's in.
This excites the bench. One of the guys comes in and still continues on what you were doing, what the starters were doing out there on the floor, the walk-ons, and they get a chance to go out and show their stuff a little bit and I like this Wake team a lot. Good chemistry. Seems like they like each other a lot because you could see it in how they share the ball.
Wake Forest, that'll do it. They win it 88-59.